But look at all the material that we have. We can cut out these. You could cut out these cool looking letters. Wow. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Brie and I love zines. And today I want to share with you a little hack that I do to get ransom letters. So a lot of people think or assume that in order to make ransom note style type of art that you need magazines. And let me tell you, magazines are great because already visually we could see how many letters we can cut out, right? This one has pretty big ones. That would be awesome to make ransom letters out of. This one just covered in text that we can cut out. There's these other ones with a bunch of text just on the cover alone. It's already great for ransom note material. Also, you can find a lot of cool things to collage with in these magazines. Like Days magazine is one of my favorites because it has a lot of cool visuals like this. I love to use stuff like that as background to collage with. But say you don't have access to magazines like this because for one, they're expensive. Just off jump, this one cost me $15. So say you don't want to splurge on magazines, right? Well, you don't need them. You don't need them for your collage materials or for the ransom letters. And I'm going to show you exactly what I do when I don't want to buy magazines and want to make ransom letters. What you'll need to do this is just a pair of scissors and maybe some bins. Okay, so you can get really creative with how you collect your materials. I use this little bead container that I found from the dollar store and I labeled it letters, numbers, and symbols because that's what I place in here. I like to get the one that has a lot of these little containers so I can separate each letter. So if you look closely, you can see it's A through Z in the English alphabet. And then I also keep some numbers and then other little things that I think are cute that I can use for collaging. So you might want to get one of these. This is a bead container, so that's why it has all of these little boxes. Maybe you can use a tackle box. I've seen someone use an empty egg carton. So really get creative with how you organize everything. You don't need a lot of money for this, okay? This cost me $1. Also, you might want to get some other little boxes or containers. I also got these from the dollar store, and this is a bin that I keep my larger letters, so the ones that can't fit in these little boxes, right? So if I cut something out and it's a little bit too big, but I know that I could use this in a collage, I keep it in this little bin. And then I also have a bin for collage scraps. So I put stuff that I think would be really cool to collage with in here. I had a couple of blind boxes, so I cut out all the cute images and I put them in here. Yes, you could use magazines for this, right? And then collect large letters, collage scraps, and other little letters to make your ransom style notes. You totally can. And if you have access to magazines and you have them laying around, sure, why not? But what I do with scissors and these bins is I just collect trash around my apartment. I just cut them up and save them in these. So what I mean by trash is almost everything that is a product has some kind of packaging on it with text on it. And what I like to do is if it inspires me, I cut it up and save it for later. So I don't need to go out and buy new things. If I'm already buying, say, a case of Liquid Death, for example, which I think I have. I'm going to collect my trash in a second, but I really like drinking those cans of sparkling water by Liquid Death. And the box, I could keep it and cut out all the text that's on it. I know if that's confusing, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll show you a visual in a second. I'm going to collect some trash. I'm just going to walk around my room, walk around the apartment, see what I can find, and then I'll come back here and show you exactly how I do it. All right, so here is all the trash I managed to collect for now. Here's the example of what I meant by the Liquid Death. If you've never heard of this, it's just sparkling water. It comes in a can and they have a lot of different flavors. I really like this Dr. Death flavor. It kind of tastes like Dr. Pepper. But look at all the material that we have. We can cut out these. You could cut out these cool looking letters. Wow, I didn't even notice this was on here. You could use that for a collage. So obviously it's not going to fit in here, but you can keep it in another bin. So for example, I have another huge bin that I keep other collage scraps in, and it also cost me like $1.50. I got it on sale, but usually these things are not that expensive and you don't have to buy something new. You can just use an old box or something. So I use this big thingy. It's like a scrapbook paper keeper. I don't know what they call this. I got it from the dollar store, but they also sell these at Michael's and I think any kind of craft store. And you see how much bigger it is?
That's what she said.
So for something like this, if I want to keep this, I would keep it in here. And I labeled it too. It says scrap paper, construction, cardstock, and misprints. So I keep a lot of stuff in here that say I messed up a print on something or it's too big to fit into this littler one. I throw it in here. There's a lot of different scraps of stuff that I could use for my collaging and for my zines. And then these bins here, I throw it in here too. So once I'm done with everything, I keep everything all organized just like that. All right, so here's the trash I collected. I got these protein bars. Look at that. Those are great letters to use. I got a piercing last year, so I kept the piercing stuff. This is great for collaging. And look, more little letters I could cut out. Even the bag itself has letters that I like that I can cut out. And then all the other scrap I can keep to use it for something. I think inside are some business cards. Look, more great material. And the Dr. Death box, you already saw that. I have another empty blind box. I think these are really cute. I could cut out the letters here, cut out the girls, cut out all the little figurines, and use that for some sort of collage. I had some junk mail. Well, it's not really junk mail. This was delivered to me because I buy a lot of stamps from USPS.com. But look it, I could cut this out. I could cut these out. I could cut this out. There's so much you can use here. My sister actually gave me this a few months ago. She bought some special kind of toothpaste and she thought the box looked cool and that I could use it potentially for my zines. So I kept it. I also got some stuff from local restaurants. I kept this coffee sleeve. Another friend gave me their chicken nuggets box because they thought I could use it. And this is all great background for collaging. Also another little thing from the cafe. This I might keep as is. I don't want to cut out the letters because this looks really cute. And then just the box in general that their lunch came in. It's just a shame to throw something like this away, right? So you can definitely keep stuff from your fast food or for your lunch or whatever, cut it all up. So now what I'm gonna do is cut everything up and organize it so you see exactly how I do it. I'm not using anything fancy. I literally am using junk mail, trash, leftover packaging. Just find inspiration in anything, you know, any kind of materials. You could even use like empty cereal boxes, empty cracker boxes. You could use receipt paper. You could use cool napkins. I've definitely ate out at different restaurants and they had really cool designs on their napkins. So I kept them to use as collaging material. Now, let me get started cutting everything up. There's, man, just so many letters on this stuff. Sometimes I just cut it all out and organize it later. I've just been doing this for a very long time, so I don't mind sitting here and picking out all the letters after I cut them out. Like I would cut out this, cut out this, cut out this, cut out everything, and then just have a little pile of letters and then sort them one by one. But just for efficiency, because this is probably the way that we should do it, just so we're not too stressed out, is simply cut into the bin. Here's all my letters. They're in alphabetical order. And what I want to do, this is B right here, right? So the B, just cut it straight into the bin. So you're not too stressed out trying to organize it once it's in a big pile, but you know what? Do you. Do it the way that you want to do it, okay? Also, the little numbers that are on here, you can keep that too. I already mentioned that, but I like to keep numbers as well because you never know what you're going to need a collage, right? So there's even exclamation points, little words that I keep just because they're kind of smaller text and maybe I might need a word like common words like and or the or to. I try to keep it in numerical order as well. So this should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then zeros. But obviously, as you can see, it's not that organized. But as long as I have a strong visual of what's inside, it's okay. So right here is 5. I don't really want that there because like I said, I want it to be in order. Actually, no, because W, X, Y, and Z. Why are these here? What are these? There's like a bunch of L's right here. Why? When L is over here. J, K, L, M. Yeah, I kind of messed it up a little bit, but let me try to semi-organize it right now. And these are all M's, I think. Yeah, these are M's. So L, M. I think I just had a brain fart moment. Or maybe I was like, I'll organize it later and then just forgot. But now it's T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. So then I can have these be empty and then I could start here with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so it's kind of in order. These little numbers on the packaging I can keep as well. Ah, almost cut my nail. That looks pretty cool. I kind of like how it looks torn at the top too. So that will go in the 4 slot. Even these numbers you could keep as is because you never know what you could use it for. Oh, it's kind of too big. So if I come across an issue like this where it's a little too big, that's where I grab my other container where it says large letters and I just throw it in here. So we'll throw these numbers in here too. So see, we're making progress, guys, all from our leftover trash. So now I can do the back. Here's some other cool packaging. I kept really cool letters. It says faded, and on the top, just a T. That's a really cool looking T, so we could definitely use that. Let's rip it off. I like to have it look a little messy because I just like the human touch to it, you know? It doesn't need to be super clean, especially for ransom style notes. It's kind of messy. So look at that. That's so cute. A lot of text like this, I like to use and collage in the background of stuff. I think the pink and red just looks really cute. Oh, look, even more. I didn't even see that. See how much material we got from just the side of this thing? And there's still more. Ugh, so cool. And then with the rest of this stuff, like I said, I can cut out this too, which I definitely will, but I feel like you guys get the gist of it, right? Like you can use pretty much anything you have laying around, use the text on it, keep it. You don't have to throw it out if it inspires you. I know that a lot of people don't want to buy new magazines, but there are ways that you could get magazines for cheap or even free, right? And I mentioned this in a different video where I'm doing paper transfer stickers. In that video, I'm telling you where else you can get magazines for cheap or even free. And some examples are just like going to your local doctor's office or dentist's office. Usually they'll have magazines that are out of date, from my experience, and they will donate it to me, or I ask my local library if they have any donations. A lot of times they do, and they will give me some. Also, I have a lot of friends that own their own small businesses like bookstores and stuff, and they donate to me all the time. So that's a great way that you can find stuff like this to use for your collages and your ransom style letters. I'm keeping the leftover of this bag because I could definitely use this for something else. I put it in that bigger container I showed you earlier. You get the idea, right? So I am really into blind boxes lately. I've been buying a lot. So this is an example of a blind box I like. This is called Little Peach Riot, and the boxes are so cute. I love keeping them. And recently I made a ransom style zine using blind boxes and the bag that I bought the blind boxes in. This is what I was able to source. I have a lot of material to use now, and it'll just keep growing the more that I utilize the stuff that's around me. Here's some of the bigger scraps I decided to keep, just as an example of what to save, because what may inspire me may not inspire someone else, right? Someone may not have a use for a big cardboard death, but I feel like I may have a use for that. I love this. Definitely going to use that for something. I decided to keep the body piercing care brochure because I could probably collage over this as its own thing instead of cutting out all the little letters. I decided to keep this, and I didn't realize that it opens up like this. And this is also great background for collaging for me. I like stuff with like a lot of text, so then I could put images over it, like something like this, and then start collaging. But that's just me. So this will all go in the bigger bin that I showed you earlier. Actually, this could fit in the collage scraps. It's funny because my collage scraps are basically all blind box cutouts. And as you saw in the video where I made my zine based off the blind boxes, there was a use for it. Hopefully that shows you guys just how accessible art is, okay? There doesn't need to be a bunch of arbitrary rules. Like, there's no rule that says you must use magazines for your ransom letters. This is a fun way to save money, for one, but also just look for inspiration around you, because when I do that, when I look around me for stuff like this, it generates a lot of ideas in my brain. There's so many things I think of when I pick up a piece of trash and I'm like, oh, this could be great for this kind of zine idea that I had, you know? Just holding a piece of garbage or garbage, you know, one man's trash is another zinester's treasure, or whatever the saying goes. I just completely made that up. But what I like to tell people to do when they ask me for zine advice is I always say, just hold on to your junk. Oh, wow, that sounded pause. But what I mean by hold on to your junk is I mean hold on to your trash. Hold on to things that could serve as collaging material, zine material, art material, you know? It's really good to repurpose stuff like this so it just doesn't end up in a landfill somewhere where there's multiple uses for it. There's multiple lives for our trash, and I want us to keep that in mind. So when people ask me for advice about zine junk, I say hold something in your hand, really feel the energy of it. I know that sounds so like crazy, but that's what I like to do. Is I hold something in my hand, I look at it, I examine it, I try to envision what I could use this for in the future, and that helps me generate ideas. I use my brain, you know, just by looking at stuff like this. This can make for a really cool zine. This can make as a really cool zine cover. Like I said with this, I could use this in the background of a different collage and collage over it and make something really cool, you know? I want you guys to keep that in mind too, that not all trash has to be trash. I hope that this helped you out in any way. If you like this video, comment down below what you liked the most about it, and definitely share it with another crafty person in your life, because this could honestly save someone a lot of trouble. Because when I tell people this hack, it blows their mind, because they never considered that they could just use the things around them because they're so focused on the magazine. There are no rules to art, you know? You can use trash. You can use old piercing care brochures. You can use the carton of your drinks. You can use a coaster, okay? The junk journal people will tell you. Junk journaling people know where it's at. Like I said, you don't have to use this just for zines. You can use it for your journals. You can use it for anything. Have fun with it. Enjoy this method, and I'll see you in the next video.